Alrighty, we're back for game 2.
Yes. All right, we're
Banning
back
out.
in game 2 with the Cybercats versus Northside. Cybercats on the blue side this time. They're going to be eating that first pick, so it'll be interesting to see what they do here in the draft phase.
Banning out Ask Nudes Zoe and banning out Bubble Puppy's Fiora.
Yes, they're definitely scared of those two champions. They were doing a lot of damage in that last game, doing a lot of that team fight, shutting down their two solo laners.
Banning a Pike again.
It's very interesting. Probably very scared of that R that Pike can get, that roaming potential that he has, going invisible and just showing up in that mid lane or top lane with the jungler. Very dangerous combination.
If you were Team Outcry right now, how would you want to draft around this enemy team? Because you know that they know what they're doing. You know that they have the mechanics to play their champions. How do you draft around that?
I believe that you're just going to have to pick your comfort champions. You're going to try to just go for those micro outplays in the lane. The enemy might get really cocky from that first game, make some mistakes in their lane. You might be able to snowball off of that. You're not going to be able to just pick up some champion that you think is really strong right now and play that. Definitely not the way you want to be going right now.
Right.
It looks like they are going back with the Jhin and the Jax as well. Probably felt very confident. Jax did get the 1v1 on the Fiora many times almost. It was a very close fight. Now it'll be interesting to see that. I know Xander's Fiora got banned out here, but he does also play Ornn, which is a strong champion right now as well. I think Ornn has very well 1v1 potential with the Jax early on, but he will get outscaled eventually. Well, actually, I'm not sure about that anymore with the new item changes.
I was about to say.
It looks like the Cybercats are picking up the Pantheon, which is probably going to be going down in the support role, going from that kill lane to snowball their lead. Probably realize that they're going to be able to abuse that enemy bot lane from that last game. They played very passively. Interesting to see. And they're also going to pick up the Echo here. Probably going to Asp Noob in the mid lane.
Running it back with the same bot lane as last time.
It looks like the enemy team feels very confident on their champions here. Probably very comfortable. It'll be interesting to see what the enemy team bans out here. They do have Alex's on the ADC. They do have his champions that they can ban him out here. They can also ban out the top laner if they want to get Xander on to something a little that he's uncomfortable with. And it looks like they are going to be banning out Alex's ADCs. They're putting out the Aphelios, a very strong champion right now, in the hands of a Aphelios one trick. And they're also going to be going with the Amumu ban on Cybercats. Probably very scared of that Amumu's 1v1 potential in that last game. He was doing a lot of damage, even though he was very far behind. And they're also going to be coming out the Ornn ban against Xander. And the Yuumi ban on Cybercats. Yuumi is a very annoying champion.
Now,
and
I'm not gonna say I seen Xander go Teemo when his Fiora and Ornn's banned, but I've seen some Teemo plays this season. It's kind of nasty with the new item.
Yeah, definitely gonna be interesting to see what he picks here. Looks like they're gonna be
Azir.
Azir bot lane. This is interesting. I know Alex has
and Riven.
Oh wow, we got some interesting picks here. I know Alex has been practicing his Azir, so it's gonna be interesting to see how he's able to correlate that from the mid lane into the bot lane. And
Now,
Riven. I've never seen Xander play Riven, I'm going to be honest.
I'm not sure if it's the Cybercats getting a little bit too cocky, but I know Gorf has played Azir and he's pondered with them in the bot lane a little bit, so I can understand that. As for Bubble Puppy, I've only probably seen him play Riven a total of 2 times.
They're gonna swap here, right? With the Rammus and the Pantheon?
Cybercats are one different breed of players, so I do not know.
We may be getting baited here. We'll have to see if they decide to switch their champions. I know Will is a very big fanatic of the Rammus support. We're gonna be interesting to see what it looks like. It's going to be Rammus support in Pantheon jungle. Very interesting picks here. Probably feel very confident in their champion picks to be able to do this.
I guess we'll see what happens. I feel like Rammus into a lane that doesn't know exactly how a Rammus support operates, it can be quite devastating. So we'll
Yes,
see how that goes.
those off-meta picks are definitely going to throw you for a loop. You're going to have no idea what to expect.
Echo being counterpicked by the Galio here. Galio being an AP tank. So it's gonna be a
Tank is a
little bit.
word to describe Galio, yes.
He's
It'll be interesting to see what he builds here if he decides to go for that Sunfire like every other tank in the game. Maybe he gets that Proto Belt for the extra movement.
I'm excited to see how the Fiddlesticks Galio work out, because if there's a team fight that pops out, Fiddlesticks hops over the wall with his ultimate, doing AoE. Galio pops down the middle with the resistances onto the Fiddlesticks, and then knocking everyone up in the vicinity.
Yeah, I
So
definitely agree. I think Northside has a very good team fight potential right here. Cybercats going to be looking for those picks with their champions that they have. Definitely looking at that side lane pressure, trying to pull the enemy champion so they can also get towers on the other side of the map. They do have very good roam potential with the Rammus Q and the Pantheon ulti to just show up in another lane. But that's also can be the same said for Galio's ultimate. It's going to be interesting to see how this early game pans out and what happens off of that.
going back to what I mentioned with how do you draft around the enemy team, and then you see them draft like this. How do you react?
If I were to see this, honestly, I would probably think the enemy team is trolling. Lux against a Rammus support. Rammus is gonna have a very hard time getting on to you for the engage because Lux just throws at her Q. Rammus is very telegraphed with what he wants to do. I think the Azir bot lane wouldn't be the worst thing I'd ever heard of. With these new items, anything can really go as long as the items are good for him. And I think Azir is one of those champions where he can make good use of the new items.
I'm excited to see how this bot lane plays out because I used to play a lot of Azir bot lane. So it's really easy to abuse an immobile ADC, especially if the Azir brings Halo Blaze with that early trading pattern.
Definitely gonna be interesting to see what runes that they're gonna be picking, what item builds they're going here.
With the new season, I honestly don't know what you bring on Azir except for like the new Nashor's too.
I believe the new Azir can go Leandries, so they've burn damage item. I think he can also go. Shoot, and I don't really remember the item names. We'll have to wait and see. I'll leave it down to them. We'll go off of what they build, you know.
I feel.
And then do you know anything about Xander's Riven? Can you give any commentary on that?
I know that he's been trying to do a lot of her animation cancels. To my knowledge, he's been having difficulties, for lack of a better term, with them. But we'll see. Maybe he's been practicing in secret. Who knows?
Yes,
Maybe he's been watching some box plays.
I have heard of Xander does like to practice champions on other accounts. He likes to keep these things hidden for when he decides that he thinks he's good enough to play them against other people. Which sounds really bad, but I promise you it's not exactly what I mean. It's not anything about competitive. He's more of like he doesn't want to get flamed by his teammates for playing the champion.
He wants to show up looking professional.
Yes.
So I saw the lethal tempo on Azir. So he's not going for those early pokes, but he's looking for that mid to late game shred. And it might even synergize well with Ramses' taunt keeping there in place as they're able to proc off the lethal tempo, as they're just going ham on them.
Fiddlesticks did go with the electrocute, so he's going to be going for those early game plays. Does not scale as well as Dark Harvest right now.
To Summoner's Rift.
Let's see here. Looks like they're forming the 5-point.
Galio going for that deep ward just like in the last game. Looks like he's gonna get it. He did not get it down. He's gonna recall here. He's probably spotted out right now. Echo stopping his back, getting that poke damage off, starting Q in lane. It looks like everything else is gonna be pretty normal. Jack's going back into that bush, going for that early game cheese again with the ignite.
And from that Q from the Echo, he now knows that Galio has brought bone plating, mitigating his early combos.
It's very true. And this Jax looks like he's moved into the bush now, I think. When he's standing outside of it earlier. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
He was a little bit shy of the bush. He was a little bit exposed. And Jin is also very far up in this bot lane. Now the blue team did get a ward down on the Fiddlesticks, so they're going to see where he is starting. They're going to be able to track his clearing speed very well for right now. You want to keep tracking of the Fiddlesticks throughout the entire game. Don't want him to show up in any lane with his ultimate or being able to just fear you into a stun from his team. He has a very good gank setup with his laners. Galio and Jax are very well at locking down an enemy champion. Looks like we're getting some trading going on in the mid lane. Galio dropping the ignite for that extra damage. Doesn't want to commit to the fight though.
An overall worth trade for the Echo, knowing that that Summoner Soul will not be up until like another 2 to 3 minutes.
Galio does get the aftershock there. He mitigates a lot of that Echo's early burst damage. Very nice taunt from him. Looks like the enemy bot lane here is going for it. Echo trying to continuously get these 3 passive procs on Galio for that extra damage. Push him out of lane.
And there's a skirmish in the mid lane against Galio and Echo.
And it looks like right now Fiddlesticks is clearing right now. Same thing with the Pantheon. They're both looking for that full clear, maybe the level 3.
That is the flash from the Jin in the bot. Galio is looking like he's in a very, very precarious situation. Just 1 E from Echo and he's done for it.
And Jin did also take exhaust this game. He's going to try to mitigate some of that Assassin's damage from Echo.
They're slowly running down the Jin. Jin getting the movement speed from Nymph's Cloak and heal.
Yeah, very nice W from Jin as well, able to root that Rammus so he can't chase him down anymore. Very well played by the north side bot lane. Looks like Pantheon is sitting here waiting for Fiddlesticks to come into his red, but Fiddlesticks looks like he wants to gank the mid against the Echo. He is very low, he gets the flashes in, Echo just ease out. Fiddlesticks is very sad about that one. He's gonna...
Oh, and first one going down to the Jax!
First blood going down in the top lane. Looks like he did get the ignite down. Riven also flashed, very bad for her. This matchup might be very dangerous now for the Riven if Jack starts to snowball. Pantheon still sitting on this red buff waiting for the Fiddlesticks to come and do it. Does want to try to get that early game kill. Shut him down, get that lead. Pantheon is a very snowbally champion. Fiddlesticks is very weak early on when he's clearing his jungle.
And you have to keep in mind as well, if a Riven gets behind, she's behind, especially to a Jax who's amazing at dueling. And it looks like Pantheon's stalking the bush, waiting, can't attack it.
Now it looks like he's going to get that one-shot hunt to the Fiddlesticks. Like I said, Pantheon is a very strong early game. Fiddlesticks very weak in that jungle when he uses his cooldowns on his camps.
Has he been sitting in that bush the entire time?
Yes, Pantheon did sit in that bush for about 45 seconds to a minute, I believe.
That's commitment.
That is commitment. But he knows what the enemy jungler was going to do. He knows the limits of his champions. Very well played by him. And it looks like Galio might be roaming down to this bot lane. They are very shoved up right now. Rammus and Azir are not the strongest early game champions. And it looks like Galio is going for the gank. He's walking through Tribush. They have no wards. Cybercats are not going to spot them out. Jin does miss the root. And it looks like Azir is committing to this damage. Galio using his taunt early does not have that lockdown anymore for this gank. It looks like the Cybercats are just going to be able to walk out.
Aw, and an unfortunate execution.
But here comes Echo looking for the one-shot onto the Lux. He's going to get it with that Dark Harvest proc. Now looks like he's going to keep going for this fight. Azir and Rammus are coming back in. Rammus with the flash, but Galio does get the taunt to stop it. And they're just going to be able to walk out. Very well played from the Galio. This guy's got really good taunts, honestly.
I agree.
It does look like they're going to be going for the tower dive. Echo dropping the W, getting the stun on both of them. Pantheon going for the Galio. They are going to pick up both of those kills. Pantheon just burning his flash. Very well played by the Cybercats. I know we mentioned this earlier in the last game that they wanted to work on being able to extend their lead, and doing these tower dives is what I really like to see from them. Something I've definitely never seen before. So it's very great for them. It looks like they're also going to pick up this Drake on, not on spawn, but very close. They're going to be going for those 4 Drakes early again, using their advantage that they have right now.
And notice the River respecting the Jax now.
Yes, Jax is going to have his Ignite up soon. He does have his ultimate. We'll have to see if he decides to try to get to this fight again. I'm not quite sure what their items are, but So I don't know if Jax is backed or not.
It's also a really difficult matchup for Riven since she's based around her auto attacks and auto cancels. Jax, his E, he just counter strikes all of that, and she's mitigated. So her only escape tool is the W and E out.
Definitely a very hard matchup for the Riven, I think. Alright, now Echo does have the 6 as well. Galio does not have it, so he will not be able to show up in those team fights with his ultimate. Looks like the Rammus is walking back down. He might be deciding. Ooh, Jackson with the counter strike. Riven does manage to get out with her E, being able to get that short range dash, but Jax is in a very strong position right now. And very unfortunate, looks like Alex's internet has disconnected. Rammus picking up those gold while he walks away, which is very well for him. We'll have to see how long it takes for Azir to come back.
And unlike the last game, this one isn't all too dominating as the last game. So if the enemy team can abuse his lead, things could be looking bad.
Yeah, very unfortunate for the Cybercats right now. But they're not in the worst spot. They do have a gold lead right now. Oh, looks like the game is going to get paused. Okay. Yeah, so how do you think this game is going right now?
I think, well, the numbers state that it's in favor of Hilliard Cybercats, which has been displayed numerous times across the map. But I'm kind of worried about the top side. The Riven into the Jax. Although Riven has a demanding CS lead, he's been out trading the Riven.
Very unfortunate for the Jax being able to have all that pressure and not being able to pick up that CS.
I think it might have been a little bit disrespect playing the Riven, because I know Bubble Puppy hasn't completely said he's comfortable on the Riven yet. But I wonder if it's because he chose Jax that he didn't want to choose Teemo.
Yeah, Teemo is definitely one of those champions that has a hard time into Jax as well, being able to block those auto attacks just like Riven. So I wonder what the thought process behind that one was.
The Azir is back, so we should be seeing a resume here pretty soon. But overall, what do you think the main criteria are for Team Outcry to get back into the game?
Team Outcry, they're going to have to play around their team's ultimates. They're going to have to play around their numbers advantages that they have. They have very strong team fight potential. They have very strong being able to show up in a side lane, get some pressure for them. Jax is very strong right now. If they wanted to, Galio and Fiddlesticks could show up in that top lane, kill that Riven, accelerate Jax's lead even more. He's a very strong champion. They could also look for these engages before objectives like this Drake or this Rift Herald that's coming up. Get some extra gold off of those. It's very hard for them right now to fight for tower plates because the Pantheon has got 2 kills right now. He has almost completed his mythic item. Looks like we are back into the game. So we're gonna have to wait and see what the enemy team decides to do.
Diego having the demanding CS lead upon the Galio, asserting his dominance in lane.
Echo playing very aggressive this game. He's not been punished by the Fiddlesticks.
Aw, and the
Rammus
Rammus
is holding the wave. That's what you love to see. Azir is back in lane now. Only missed about 2 waves, I think. And looks like Jax has also been trading back onto the Riven. Riven half HP. We'll have to see if Jax tries to go for the 1v1 again. Might be really close. Sorry, Riven could try to bait it with Pantheon being top lane. He does have his ultimate now, just picking up off of his blue buff. Looks like Fiddlesticks is going back to his bot lane. He's going to keep power clearing, trying to get that gold advantage. Rammus in the bot lane are engaging. Looks like Azir rushing forward. He is going under the tower. Very interesting play right there. He might have misclicked and gone in and had to commit to the fight. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
If I were to guess, it might have been the internet having its little debut. Because I know Gorf is more...
Oh, looks like Pantheon is going for the ultimate in the top lane though. It looks like they're going to be fighting for that Jax. Riven is very far behind though. He's not going to be able to really help. Jax is going to be able to stun and walk out. Riven with the flash and gets the knockup. Very well played.
Nice, nice.
Do get the flash down though. Jax does able to use that now. The top lane, he does have Ignite back up. Pantheon is going to pick up this Rift Herald.
And I'm glad to see that Bubble Puppy's practicing on the Riven as well, because fun fact about Riven's Q, it used her third Q mid-flash, it does not proc the knock. So
interesting. It's very well played mechanics from him right there. Looks like Rammus is sitting in this bush, waiting for the enemy bot lane to walk up. He's saying, I dare you to walk up. Azir is on his own. He is level 6, Azir is not. So there's a lot of that 2v2 potential. Jhin does have no mana though, so they're going to be very careful about that one. Looks like, ooh, Galio is committing to the fight. He is flashing out immediately though, when he does not get that knock up from his ability. Not quite sure what it is.
Cybercats maintaining a 4k gold lead.
Top lane is being able to catch back up into this game. Had a really rough early game. Did not respect the Jax 1v1 potential. And Pantheon has 3 kills. Very strong Pantheon.
Can't still anyone's game.
Galio with a very well trade. He is able to proc that Aftershock, mitigate a lot of that damage. He does get the Ignite out from the Echo. Loses a lot of that 1v1 potential, but Echo does still have his ultimate. Looks like the bot lane is going to commit to this tower. Looks like they just won it. They're just going to ignore the Lux ultimate. She is very weak right now. Only boots. Has no of those extra stats except from her support item. Looks like they're also going to be going for this mid tower. They do have Herald, so they may decide to drop it after they get 2 plates here. They are only 11 minutes into the game, so tower plates are going to be here for about another 2.5 minutes. Interesting to see what they decide to do.
That'll be.
Looks like they are going to drop the Rift Herald for those 2 extra plates. Jhin also moved to the mid lane, probably deciding that bot lane tower is gone. He's just going to have to go to the mid lane and farm up. Back into this game as much as he can.
Looks like they're rotating towards Drake because they saw Fiddlesticks in the top side.
Fiddlesticks is hovering around this, maybe looking for the enemy to show up in lane. The Cybercats probably saw him out and they're just going to say, we're not going to walk into you, you're going to have to walk into us. But they do get caught out. Galio dropping the ulti, gets stunned by the Pantheon and shut down. Echo does burn his ulti, looks like they're going to go for the 1v1, 2v2 I mean. Echo with the curtain call. Jhin is going to get out of his ultimate, very scared of that Pantheon stun. Pantheon does have 5 stacks on his passive, so he's going to do a lot of damage there. It's a very close fight, very well played from both sides. Looks like Rammus is going to catch this Lux out though. Pantheon hopping over that wall, dropping Q on top of her, finishing it off. And looks like they're going to be able to go to the Drake now with bot lane dead, the support dead.
And they will secure this Drake.
Very, very close fight. Both sides looking for whatever gold they can. Looks like Azir has disconnected again. And Riven is TPing. Looks like he might try to look for that Jax in the bush, but he does get out in time.
And I believe Jax did get a kill on Riven.
Very interesting that Fiddlesticks did walk into his jungle and then just decide to back, so he may have had some problems with his computer, I'm not sure. And
There he is.
Alright. So right now, I think Northside, they're not in the worst position. Their champions are definitely very strong. They still have those teamfight ultis, the Fiddlesticks and Galio. They can easily turn it. But I think Pantheon is very strong right now. They're going to be very wary of him. He will one-shot their backline.
I think it should be of notice that Jax also has a full Trinity Force, 2-1, in comparison to Riven, who is 0, no full item yet.
Jax did get 2 tower plates early on. Looks like they are going to catch the Echo out with the Galio. He does get the kill, which is very good for him. He wants to be able to try to keep up with his laner, so he's not able to lose that 1v1.
Slowly and surely closing the gap.
Both sides are getting close to their mythic items. Echo has picked up his Night Harvester for that extra burst. Looks like Northside is going to be roaming down in this ball and looking for the Azir and Rammus. A little overextending a little bit too much for this tower. Fiddlesticks is going to walk right into them. Really interesting to see what's happening here. Not quite sure what they want to do. They have no vision right now. And Azir is walking right in the middle. He does not get the E out of the fight, but it doesn't all look like they want the Northside wants this fight. They're just going to be able to walk out. Very well played from the Cybercats, able to escape that 2v4, very scary situation.
Riven trying to take the top tower, taking advantage of everyone on the bottom half of the map.
Jax, looks like she got the kill on Jax, maybe with Pantheon's help. I think we missed that. But very well played. Echo is going to be trying to get this mid tower.
Should be tower, yep.
Goes down. Looks like blue side is getting vision control of this bot side. They're going to want a lot of this pressure for the Drake coming up in about 3 minutes. Rammus is coming in. Jhin is very far out of position. Echo's going to leave that one for the Rammus. Say, here you go, have some kills. And Echo is going to pick up those 1v1 against the Galio.
And that's just a display of the new items from Reinhardt. It's so strong.
But Fiddlesticks does get the ulti down. Blue side is in a very bad fight right now. Jack's coming in, but he's not able to get the counter strike off for the stun. Pantheon is going to be farming this red buff. Echo going back in, looking for the fight. Pantheon is very strong right now. Can get a lot of that burst damage down onto an unsuspecting enemy champion. But it does not look like the North is going to fight for it. And I think that 2v2 in mid lane with the Rammus and Echo. Echo had very well idea of what to do there, going on the Galio, even though he could have easily picked up the kill on Jhin, gotten more gold for himself.
I think right now the Cybercats are thinking, so we can't play nearly as aggressively as we could last game.
Azir is going for the 1v1, looks like diving into that. He's going to get the ulti down. He does get taken down by the Galio also. Jhin doing that 4-shot damage. It looks like Jax is hovering around that top side. He's sitting on a ward, so they do see him. Looks like they're not going to go for this fight. Riven is not there for the team. It's very aggressive from the Azir right there, going in without his team there to back him up. He gets shut down.
And that's what I was just saying. They can't play nearly as aggressively as they could last game, because that's around this point they were getting phased. So
looks like Echo is just diving in, very confident with his ulti right here, but he has no mana. Also Riven on the flank right now.
But the disconnect from Gore. Hopefully he'll be back soon.
Yes. Seems like he's having some internet problems, and he is back. It's really great to see. Looks like Pantheon is going to be picking up this Herald as well. They're going to be able to get a lot more of that pressure. Lux is going to maybe spot him out with the ward. There it is. Herald might be out of the pit, so I'm not quite sure if they can see it. They are going to get it uncontested. Northland is going to see them. They're going for the fight. Very well taunted from the Galio. But Jhin gets taunted out of his current call. And Galio ulting on him to try to get this Rammus off of him. Jhin getting taken down by the Echo with the one-shot. He has backed him and he's very strong right now. Looks like now Hilliard is going to try to disengage this fight, get out. But the enemy team is just running them down. They have a lot of that lockdown with the Rammus and the Pantheon. It's a very clean 2 kills right there. They're also going to drop this Herald. Looks like they're going to try to push this mid tower as well.
It's starting to look like a repeat of last game. The Cybercats are understanding, okay, there's something we can and cannot do. And so identifying those, they're saying, hey, we can win these fights, we can't win these fights, so.
That was very well played by the Rammus there, taking the Jhin immediately out of his ultimate. Jhin not able to do much after that. He is not strong at all in the game. He has not finished his mythic item. Looks like Fiddlesticks has also finished his, and all of the Cybercats have finished theirs. They have hit those power spikes before Northland, so it's going to be very hard for them to fight for this Drake right now, which they have given up.
One more Drake and Team Cybercats get
And it is Mountain Soul, not the strongest one, but ooh, Jax popping the Azir right there. Well, looks like Azir's going to get the trade back on his passive turret. Echo going in with the W, getting the stun. Jax is also getting taunted by the Ramps. He's stuck in the middle of those 3 people. Echo is going to keep going after the Lux. Looks like he's going to change his focus onto the Fiddlesticks, drop that Q and pick that up for himself. Looks like Cybercats are going to try to push for this inhib, and maybe these towers and end the game. I'm not quite sure what happened there, I am going to be honest. It's a very close fight.
I think they thought they had strength in numbers, and then that wasn't the case at all.
So they did go pretty deep for that kill onto the Azir. They did pick it up, but he was able to kill back onto the Galio, which is a lot of the red side's gold. a lot of their CC in front line. So when he gets taken down, it's very hard for them to fight. They can't just get dove on by the Pantheon and Echo with no taunt or CC against them. They're able to one-shot that backline.
Everyone on the blue side has their first mythic item, whereas red side, only 2 have been claimed. The Fiddlesticks and the Jax.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting to see here. From the... They weren't that far behind in the early game, but Jax flashing over the wall, spotted the Riven, maybe looking for the 1v1. Riven was able to just walk away from it before he could get inside of Q range. Jax no longer has that flash, but that engage onto the fight now. Riven is spotted out on a ward here. Rammus looks like it's going to be coming up, going to make this a 2v2. Actually, it's a 3v2 with the Azir showing up. Jax being able to get the counter strike out. Azir misses the ultimate. Jax does get taunted by the Rammus and locked down, so he's not able to escape. Looks like Azir just able to dish out that damage now. Riven also picking up the 1v1 with the Galio.
They could probably just get this top lane tower.
And it's right now, Cybercats have a very strong siege right now with their Rammus and the Riven front line. Pantheon is farming his jungle right now. Looks like he's going to be going for vision on this Baron. Looks like Cybercats might be thinking about starting this up and ending the game off of that. The enemy has super minions pushing into the mid wave. They are very weak, so they're not going to have an easy time clearing out these super minions.
Team Outcry is looking pretty bad right now. There's not much they can do. They have to take care of their base.
Looks like the top side is getting engaged on. Azir looking for that poke damage. Pantheon is also... Oh, Pantheon jumping onto the Jhin, chunking half his HP. Galio dropping his ultimate. Jhin also dropping his ultimate. But Echo is able to just dive onto that backline uncontested since the Galio already went in. Able to one-shot that Jhin. Looks like the Rammus... Ooh! Good taunt from the Galio, picking up 3 of them. Fiddlesticks dropping his ultimate. But it's immediately shut down by the Pantheon. It looks like they're just going to go for the ace on the North Land, and they're going to end the game off that.
Yep.
Very close fight. Very low HP bars. Echo with the one shot on the back line. It's very well played from him.
However, another decisive victory for Hilliard Cybercats, utilizing their lead at the very beginning of the game, although not as fast, but they brought it up.
And I think this was a very well performance from both teams. I had a lot of fun watching both these games.
Certainly was a game to